Hi, this is Jacqueline here with the Grow Program. I want to talk about. Listen here, I I can't put chaos, negativity, and drama in my system if I want to. I can't do it. Um, it does something to me. It's just like trying to eat a piece of pork. I can't do it. I just can't. Cause one time I tried. I tried to eat a piece of something that I had made or something it was, and I went to try to eat it and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't bring myself to do it. I just couldn't. So I can't listen to no chaos, negativity, and drama. Like I said, I had enough of that to last me my life. I don't need no more. I don't want to hear about nothing, unless it's some good news. Tell me some good news. Don't nobody like to talk about no good news. You can't get nobody to call you just to tell you something good, something happy, something they got going on, just to spread some good news. Because see, most time when people call you, tell you some good news, we think, well, they bragging. No, they ain't bragging. They telling about something good that done happened in their life. How they done got through some kind of way. How they done came up. Because look, we all under oppression in this country. We are all, it don't matter your status or your wealth. You can be uppity if you want to be. But you still is one of us. Ain't nothing changed. You still one of us. And I'm going to tell you something. You can have everything in the world. Everything. And still have nothing. If you ain't got God, honey, nothing that you got matters. Nothing. Like I said, you can have everything in the world and have nothing. It could be gone just like that. And then what? That's why rich people are not happy. It's a lot of rich people. I ain't gonna say all of them, but it's a lot of rich people that are not happy. And we wonder, you got money, you ought to be happy. I used to think stupid like that. You got money, you ought to be happy. But money can't buy happiness. Money gonna bring a lot of problems. It's gonna bring a lot of people around you who don't mean you no good. Who out you can't even develop friendships because you rich. You gotta wonder if they really out for my money or they really want to be my friend. You gotta wonder about people who been around you. Now they know you rich. Okay, now we rich. You gotta, it's all kind of stuff that come along with money. People think money is just it. Man, I got me some money, man. I done hit it big. Man, my problem's over with. You just don't know. Your problem just began. Like the man said in the song, more money, more problem. And that is the truth. It is really true. You need to think, and think about this statement here. True happiness. True happiness, when you find true happiness within yourself, you will find that you don't need no one to make you happy. True happiness comes within you. A significant other, somebody else adds to that. They ain't supposed to take away from it. They add to it. Relationships are hard. Relationships are difficult. They are. It's something. But I'm gonna tell you something that I realized for myself now. I ain't speaking for nobody. I'm speaking for me. I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't necessarily need it. I don't need it. Because for me, it takes away from what I'm doing with the Lord. It takes away, I'm married to the Grow Program, really. That's my life. I live to grow. And my purpose is to help other people to grow. So doing that, is difficult to try and find the time to put in, around my God-given purpose. So that's first. That's ultimate. That's over everything, is to see my people being lifted up out this oppression. I'm gonna tell you something about me. I'm gonna get a little personal. Now, I drove buses for 20 years. This thing. I drove buses for 20 years. I cut it off. I'm not kidding. I cut it off. And the thing somehow comes back on. Okay. I need to get away from it. What I need to do. All right. It's gone. I drove buses for 20 years, and I like working by myself. And I like, because I know my job. I know what I'm supposed to do. But one thing I know about me is just like what's going on in with us as African people. I know it's there. I see it. I know it's there. But I got to do something about it. That's why it's just like I don't like looking at roadkill. I know it's there. Do something about it. Let's not, what they show us on TV, the images that they show us. The young man sitting in Wendy's, dozed off. I've actually sat out there and went to sleep, in the drive-thru waiting on food. And the young man get pulled over by police. Could have just let him go. Just let him go. He fell asleep in the drive-thru. But no, you had to shoot him and you had to kill him. We know that these things happen. So what I have done is decided to do something about it. I'm going to do something about it instead of looking at it and talking about it. Just like I tell you, when you got a problem, solve it. Don't talk about it. Let's solve it. Let's do something about it. So thus, the Grow Program, thus, greatness reached over oppression through wisdom. We know it's there. We know there's a problem. We see what's going on, but we doing something about it. We growing. Yes, we see what they doing to us out in the community. Yes, we are outraged, but we putting our outrage into action. We are building. We are growing. We are rising. They don't know it, but we are. Because we ain't out in the street protesting and down there with the evil. Because the evil come to steal, kill, and destroy. We the good. So we gonna work quietly. Just like the good did with me in the haunted house. Work with me quietly to help me overcome the evil. That's what we gonna do. We gonna work quietly. We're gonna build. We're gonna rise. We're gonna come up. We're gonna rise with substance. Our little young kings and queens gonna be looking at us and amazing. Look at my mom. Look at my dad. Look at my grandma. Look how they doing for me. Look how they making a way for me. Look at what we gonna have for the future generation. We got to stop staring at what's going on the TV and what they're throwing at us. We got to stop staring, because they want to make sure that Google want to make sure when you pull up lynching videos that you remind you of where you were and where you still at. You are still oppressed. When you go see that should be in a museum somewhere. That really we should not be oppressed under looking at those pictures. They are horrible. To look at stuff like that, I don't get it, but we gonna get to that too. We gonna work on that too. But right now we gotta keep growing at the task at hand. That's what I do. I do what's in front of me. I do what's in front of me, but I keep my eyes focused on God. I try to be as close to God as possible because I try to do right and try to do people right. That's my goal, and that's the ancestor looking out for me. This is my God-given purpose. I didn't know the reason for me to be going through all what I went through, but I will tell you this: I'm in perfect health. I don't take no medicine. I had 5 natural births. 5 natural births. And I'm want to talk about something real quick. Because I used to joke about this. Like I said, I'm in good health. Besides the injury that I had, but I don't let this back hold me down, honey. I don't. I talked about that too. But I want to talk about something real quick. I had 5 natural births. I'm in perfect health. But I want to tell you something. When I had my daughter 16 years ago in the hospital, and I talked about this, I got an episode on this. We labored. She was born on Labor Day, and we labored. And I used to joke about that, but come to find out, it's something behind that, because why are African women dying at such a high rate giving birth? And I know what happened to me. The nurse kept coming in there giving me Pitocin. So when you going into labor, women who getting ready to have babies and grandmas who getting ready to be grandmas and grandpas, make sure they ain't upping this Pitocin on these girls, and these women, making sure they ain't doing that. Because see, that's what happened to me. And then it's natural causes, or it could be this, that, and the other, whatever they want to put on there. But we just died. It don't make no difference. We gone. Even the lady on the news said, why I'm a white woman and I just had a baby. I want to know why African women are dying at a high rate giving birth. She asked the question, and then I never found out the answer. I don't know if she even found out the answer, because there ain't no answer. It ain't no reason. They killing them. That's the reason. That's the answer. Up in the Pitocin, the labor coming along naturally. I had 4 other natural births. Never had a problem. But you got to come and up the Pitocin. I'm already the baby coming when she get ready to come. Let it happen natural. I kept trying to tell the nurse, let it happen natural. Leave me alone. Let me have my baby. And no, she want to push it. By the time that woman got through with me, honey, it felt like somebody was slicing me with a butcher knife. I was in excruciating pain, and do you know, on top of that, wait a minute, on top of that, they wouldn't even give me an epidural. I had asked about 5 when I was 6 centimeters, because when I got to the hospital, the water had already broke. So I was about 6 centimeters. I'm saying, well, can I get a epidural? No, we got to wait and see. And the same nurse. Then she come back in there, up and up Pitocin without giving me no pain medicine. See, that's the kind of stuff they do. So I'm going to tell you something. Be with your people when they go to the hospital giving birth. Because to give birth and to bring a life into this world is something. It is something. And to do it naturally and to do it without pain medicine, that's something else too. Okay, so just be with your people. Be mindful. Let me cut this short. But I love you. And remember, no one is superior over you. No one at all. Period. You're a royalty. You're a kings and you're a queens. God bless you. Be woke, be safe, and be blessed.